Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about psychological programming to be a winner. And this is something that we don't hear discussed enough, and it's actually something to where I laugh when I see other lifters who, when I say, hey, I got a PR, and I link my PR videos of all my maxes, and they're like, well, that's not the classic lift, that doesn't count as a PR, and all this nonsense. And it's like, I can tell you right now that you're probably a loser. If you actually think that way, you have the mentality of a loser. You're not going to be a champion. You're not going to be successful at anything in life with that mindset. And that's actually literally telling me that my PR doesn't count. That actually literally makes you a loser because you think like a loser. And here's the difference. And if you look at the whole concept with rotating the max lifts on the conjugate system, yeah, we talk quite a bit about the overuse aspect of it. But what needs to be addressed, because this is even more important, and I would say this is the single most important part, because we can avoid overuse injuries just by rotating most of our supplemental work, right? We can avoid it by just being careful with ranges of motion and things. It matters on the max work. And yes, the physiological benefits do matter. They teach us how to grind. They teach us how to strain. They teach us how to learn to grind through and ramp new lifts. But what about the psychological aspect? The system is designed so that you PR every week year round. And what you are supposed to do is continue to create new exercises and find ways to create new exercises, whether you get a bench block so you can do board presses, whether you own 4 different sets of bands so that you can have 4 different band tensions for each barbell. Okay, and here's where I'm going with this. If you only have a normal bar, let's say you don't even have all these specialty bars, and you have 4 different sets of band tensions you can put on that bar, you have the straight weight and you have 4 different bands. That's a different exercise. You get a bench block and you can do 5 different board presses. That's 5 more exercises you could add. You can also do them all wide and close grip. What are we up to now? 22 different bench presses with a single bar. If you PR on a different one of those every time, because that gives you the ability to go 22 weeks without hitting any variation again, you can add 5 pounds to a lift in 22 weeks, especially if you are assessing your weak links and hypertrophying them. Okay, but let's say you take it down to something reasonable. Let's take it down to 12 lifts. If you have 12 lifts in the rotation, and you only need 6 squats and deadlifts to pull this off. We could do that with different bars and bands and chains and different box squat heights. All right, you can have a different PR for your 11-inch versus your 12-inch box. And people will say, well, what's the point besides a little bit of variation and avoiding overuse? Okay, it teaches you how to grind and blah, blah, blah. What's the benefit? Because you PR. If you wait to do each variation of the lift until you PR again, what happens? Because you guys notice every time I back squat, the normal back squat, or every time I conventional deadlift, they're a PR. Every single time I go and do my classic lift, I PR. Because I don't do them unless I can PR. Why bother? What's the point? Because the point is to PR. And I want to talk about the psychology of that. I've heard, again, guys like Simmons say, I'm talking to runners, if I have a girl who's running track and I take her to a meet and this girl from another school beats her and demoralizes her, I'm not going to go run her against that other girl next week or the week after. I'm going to go find some slower runners to run her against so that she can beat them. So that she can beat them and win and be a winner. And I'm going to make her stronger and make her faster in the meantime by training her harder. Build the confidence up. Create the mindset of a winner. So when that runner is now beating multiple other runners, thinks of themselves as a winner and a champion. And in the meantime, you don't just have them do the competitions there, because that's what our maxes are. You have them continue to train and get stronger and faster. Wasn't that the same thing we do in the weight room? That same philosophy can then be applied to our max lifts. We have to win. And winning means PRs. Because how do we determine strength? Strength is how much weight you move. We continue to train to get faster and stronger, just like the track runner. And just like running them against different people who you can beat, if you're strong enough now to add 5 pounds to these various lifts, and you come through and you hit 5 different sets of your bench variations, and you PR on all 5 of them, even if it's a 5-pound PR each week, what happens? You build your confidence up. You program your brain to do what? To PR. Because every time you get under a max bench press, what happens? You hit a PR every time you lay down on the bench and you press a bar for the past 5 weeks, the past 6 weeks, the past 12 weeks. You have hit a PR every single time you do it. Do you understand that self-programming comes from our actions and our choices? And if every week you change to a different bench and it's one you haven't done in a while since you've gotten stronger, and you PR every time, you now think of yourself as someone who every time I get under the bar and do a bench press, I hit a PR without fail because I'm a winner. And I get stronger and I improve every single week. And if you do that while training intelligently to make sure that you are gaining muscle and strength, you really are. You're following up the other actions to go with the behavior. But what happens? I'm somebody who PRs all the time. I get stronger every week. And it doesn't matter that it's these different lifts. It doesn't matter because a PR is a PR. And from a training perspective, a 1 rep max is a 1 rep max. Doing a 1 rep max with a football bar against chains still prepares you to max a bench press. The same basic muscles are involved. You're still setting up. You're still pressing with your chest and your triceps as hard as you can. Okay? Hitting a 1 rep max with a football bar and chains is more specific to a 1 rep max bench press than doing a 5 rep set is with the straight bar. How's that discussing specificity? It is more specific. Because technique on 5 rep sets doesn't carry over to your max anyways. Oh, that's a blow to some people. Doesn't carry over. You're not practicing for a max. How does that help you improve your max? Okay, it puts hypertrophy on you. It does that. You'll get bigger. Therefore, your max will go up. It is not the same technique. Lightweight doesn't prepare you to lift heavyweight from a technical perspective on low skill exercises. Lifting heavyweights prepares you to lift heavyweights. Lifting maximal weight prepares you to lift maximum weights. So you're still getting the specificity. And you're doing the same thing. You're ramping up with a new lift and you have to find the groove each time. So by the time you get around to doing the classic lift again, what did you just do? You did the same thing you do every week. You find your groove on a new exercise you haven't done in a while. Either you know how to bench press or you don't. But what happened? You PR. And by the time you get around to the classic lift again, since you've PR'd on 12 different bench presses in the past 12 weeks, and in your mind, I PR on every one of them, so I know I'm stronger. So when you get under the weight that defeated you before, if you spent 12 weeks getting thicker and stronger overall because of your other training, all your supplemental work and speed work and rep work and everything else, you're bigger and stronger. You've proven it to yourself by hitting PRs on 12 other bench presses. So if all 12 of those have gone up, you know your pressing strength is improved. You know it for a fact. Okay, you don't speculate. You know. If every one of those lifts went up 5, 10, 15 pounds since you had done them the time before, you know for 100% fact, for beyond a shadow of a doubt, provable with numbers, that your pressing strength has gone up. It is not subject to debate. You know that you are a winner who hits a PR every time they press. So what's going to happen when you get back under the bar? You've programmed your brain to say, I am a winner who hits PRs. You've proven to yourself that you know your press is stronger because you PR'd on 12 other presses already. And you spent 12 weeks getting yourself physically stronger through all your supplemental work. You're going to hit a PR. And you know that you're going to hit a PR before you even get there. It's already done. Because you're a winner who hits PRs. Okay, that's how this system works. All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.